hurt your ears. The Senate will come to order. The senators will please take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor will please retire to the gallery. Good morning, senators. Good morning. Morning, guests. The senators and all in attendance, please stand if you are able. We will be led in prayer this morning by the Reverend Ung Yul David Ryu of the Korean Central Presbyterian Church in Centerville. Following the prayer, everyone will please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by our very Senate page, Huff Mullen II of Richmond.
Almighty God, we are gathered here today to pray to you, our Lord, and the Creator of heaven and earth. We are grateful that you have called the Senate together to start this day with a prayer. Lord, please remember the dedicated services that have been rendered unto the Commonwealth of Virginia and to this great nation by the Governor Youngkin and distinguished senators. More than anything, Lord, may you fill the hearts of our senators with reverence towards you and love for their people. Allow them to discern your calling and will in their duty of service, so that they can serve the people as faithful stewards. Almighty God, we desperately pray that you would restore unto us the pietist faith of our founding fathers. Let us remember the love of Jesus Christ and understand your prophetic words, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, so that ultimately our families, communities, and this great nation and beyond would conform with your divine order and goodwill. We pray this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll. All those present, please vote aye. The clerk will close the roll. The senior senator from Chesapeake, Senator Cosgroves, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 35, noes 3.
Ayes 35, noes 3. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the House of Delegates.
We do not have any, Madam President.
The clerk will report any communications from the governor.
We do not have any, Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Saslaw.
Madam President, I move that we suspend the rules and grant the privileges of the floor to former State Senator Jen Kiggins, now Congresswoman Kiggins, and to Senator-elect Aaron Rouse.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the privileges of the floor granted to distinguished persons? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, no 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. The rules are suspended. The privilege of the floor are granted. The chair recognizes the senior senator from Fairfax County for the purpose of presenting the distinguished guests.
I would hope we would rise, and first we got two people to congratulate. First, our Congresswoman Kiggins, a former member of this body. Congresswoman Kiggins, we're really glad to have you here today, and again, congratulations there. And Senate, we're also here to grant the privileges of the floor to the new senator from Virginia Beach, Senator-elect Aaron Rouse. And I would now hope that we would give them a real good welcome.
Please advance. Please advance. The Senate will be temporarily at ease. We have arrived at the time in the morning hour when we will hear about our very distinguished guests in the gallery. I will give my daily reminder that what will happen is a senator will rise, introduce you, and then I will give a little narrative about what we've heard thus far about your wonderfulness, and then finally we will applaud. And so with that, I do now call on the senior senator, the senator from Southern Fairfax County, Senator Barker.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
All right. I'm here and pleased to join in welcoming Moksin Nim Liu, who our minister who provided us with a prayer that was very thoughtful today. He's a lead pastor from the Korean Central Presbyterian Church in Centerville, Virginia, and KCPC, as it is colloquially known, has played an active part in not serving just the Korean Americans of Centerville and many throughout the broader community, but serving the total community and being a major part of the operation of things within Northern Virginia, and particularly in Fairfax County. There are about 10,000 members of the KCPC Church, and you have to be guided around the parking lot when you go there for a service, because it's a little bit crowded sometimes. But they do have about 4,000 to 5,000 people at the church every Sunday. The church is now having its 50th anniversary, so they had its founding not in the too distant past, but has been very instrumental in the community since then. And it's worked on being a number of projects to serve thousands of people in our Northern Virginia community, one of which is founding Senior Center for people who are Korean Americans, and with much of that done in the Korean language. And it has been run by the mother of a former Department of Medical Assistance Services director here in Richmond. And they provide a lot of skills training and recreation, computer skills for the seniors, and help them in adjusting to the issues that they're dealing with. I'm proud to represent a district that boasts one of the most vibrant Korean communities in the Commonwealth of Virginia, if not in the country as a whole. And that is why I hope you will join me in welcoming Pastor Liu.
Thank you for coming again, Pastor. It was wonderful to see you last year, and good to hear that you're still doing, you and your church, wonderful things. And indeed, the senator said that you have a crowded church. I think that's a blessing. It means that the Spirit is there. Thank you for all you're doing in the community. Please keep on doing it. Let us give him the warm welcome, senators of his Senate. Senator Ruff, the gentleman from Mecklenburg County.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you. Today we would like to introduce the sheriffs and deputies who have participated in Virginia Sheriff Association's Legislative Day, including my friend Sheriff Fred Clark, who serves not only as Sheriff of Halifax County, but as president of the Virginia Sheriff's Association, the only organization representing all the sheriffs, deputy sheriffs, and support personnel, with more than 9,800 deputies and support staff members. As you may know, the Sheriff's Association was formed in 1933 to represent sheriffs and deputies' interests throughout the Commonwealth. They are responsible for running all the local jails and several of the regional jails. Sheriffs are the primary law enforcement agency in 86 counties and made over 48,000 Group A and Group B arrests last year. Sheriffs are responsible for service processing, having served over 3 million civil process papers last year and providing security for our judges and courts. Madam President, please offer them a warm welcome.
Welcome, sheriffs. Please rise. All of our sheriffs, please rise. It is so good to see you again. Thank you for what you do. I remember one sheriff saying that as he leaves every morning, his wife says to him, "Please come home safe." And we wish that for all of you. Nobody has said that to me. Please come home safe. Thank you very much for continuing to serve us, to help us. And senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Peterson, the gentleman from Fairfax City.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for 2 introductions.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me begin. My first introduction is for representatives that are here from Washington University of Science and Technology, and I'm going to run through the names. It's Abubakar Hanif, his wife Farhana Hanif, Dr. Hassan Karaberk, Dr. Mark Robinson, Dr. Hyun Lee, who's a friend of many of ours, and Naeem Hassan. They're here on behalf of Washington University of Science and Technology. It is a university that was founded in 2008 and provides career training and skills for students in Tyson's Corner. Their campus has expanded to over 1,000 students and is growing rapidly and teaching entrepreneurial skills as well as real-world technical skills. And very proud to have them in what will be a new Senate district. And they're here today to visit and ask that we extend a warm welcome of the Senate. That's number one.
Welcome to you again. Thank you for being in the education space. Indeed, America must remain the #1 superpower, and you're enabling that in higher ed. So thank you for the future and the hope that our children will have. And senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen. The next introduction, I have my sheriff in the gallery who is here to give me an armed escort back to the Pocahontas building, hopefully afterwards in case I cast any bad votes. But she's a wonderful friend and a wonderful representative of the law enforcement community. I don't need to say more than that because you all know who she is, Sheriff Stacy Kincaid from Fairfax County. Thank you.
Good morning, Sheriff. No, you don't get to sit down. You've been individually recognized, and so we want to thank you for being there in the law enforcement space, and so that when we call that 911, we know that you're there. Thank you for doing what you do, and your family certainly sacrifices because there are times you're not able to be with them because you're serving us. So, senators, let us give her the warm welcome of her Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Hanger, the gentleman from Augusta.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for purposes of an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm pleased to rise today to recognize that we have a number of individual groups from throughout the Commonwealth representing 4-H. And I think all of us on in this body are aware of how great that program is in helping young people and coming together and all that they represent. For me, my personal testimony, it greatly influenced my life and then later FFA. So we have groups from throughout the Commonwealth. So on behalf of myself and my colleagues from other parts of the Commonwealth, I would ask that you extend the warm welcome of the Senate to these 4-H members from throughout the Commonwealth.
Please rise. Oh, there they are. Thank you for coming and watching your Senate in action. And of course, you are the leaders that will be shaping the future when you're in the future. So we look to you to uphold our laws and to keep us together, to keep America together. Thank you for what you do at such a young age. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator DeSteff, the senior senator from Virginia Beach.
Madam President. See if it works better this time. Madam President, I rise for 3 introductions.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, first I'd like to introduce the former junior senator from Virginia Beach, now Congresswoman Jen Kiggins, who's with us in the gallery. I'm sorry, who's with us on the floor, I believe. And the new junior senator, Aaron Rouse. And I'd also like to, Madam President, introduce somebody who's up there hiding in the gallery. And it's a little hard to hide when you're probably the most prominent defensive back in the history of football. Madam President, with us today, we have Bruce Smith, the first player selected in the 1985 NFL Draft, quickly established as a starter on the Bills defensive team, Rookie of the Year, 11 Pro Bowls, 4 Super Bowls, and also in the NFL Hall of Fame. So I didn't want to miss that one. But when you talk to him and when you get to know him, one of the kindest, gentlest gentlemen you'll ever meet. And did I say 4 consecutive Super Bowls, 200 sacks, NFL Hall of Fame, 11 Pro Bowl selections, 8 first-team All-Pro honors, and he's the most kind, gentle gentleman that I know. And Madam President, with that, I'd like to introduce my friend, one of our most aggressive, greatest defensive backs, feared by so many in the NFL, Bruce Smith.
Please rise. Former Senator Kiggins, now Congresswoman Kiggins, we wish you Godspeed in the United States House of Representatives. What an honor it is that you have been chosen to represent your district. Senator-elect Aaron Rouse, I'm sorry. Sir, I keep getting it wrong. I have the English version in my head. But thank you for coming, and you're going to be on this floor very shortly. Can't wait to hear from you. Congratulations. Also, what an honor it is. And Mr. Smith, sir? Yes, sir. You are a shining star indeed. So many accolades that so many who have played the game have never received. And I do have to tell you that my team, the Raiders, from the days of Jim Plunkett, but unfortunately, you're not going back in, are you? They need help. But thank you for coming, and thank you for continuing your work in the community. And how wonderful it is to be called a gentleman of gentlemen. So thank you, Senator, and thank you for what you do, and welcome, welcome. Let us give them, again, the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Saslaw, the senior senator from Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. We have with us today members, some of the members representing the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. And I hope they're in the gallery, but with us today from Northern Virginia in the Chamber are Julie Coons, Scott McGarry, Jim Dyke, Chris Clementi, Joe Thoburn, Bruce Jennings, Nick Clementi, Jim Steffes, Lauren Brown, and Jennifer Stetner.
Welcome to all of you. As you know, I worked for the Chamber for some time at the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce. But what you do is so crucial in bringing businesses together, in helping our business community to thrive, and in attracting other business to Virginia, which we sorely need, and we must remain competitive. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the business that you're individually in. And senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Donovan, the gentlelady from Enrico.
Good afternoon, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of two introductions.
Senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I'd like to start with the pharmacist lobby that is here today. Our pharmacy lobby, you might have met them. They might have been in your offices this morning. They're attending in person and virtually. They're from all over Virginia. Our pharmacists, student pharmacists, pharmacist technicians, all here for Pharmacy Day. We have 4 pharmacy schools in the Commonwealth. And honestly, I think we all know how much of a role pharmacists played as heroes during COVID. During the pandemic, their work is ongoing, but they are there and available. They did testing. When we couldn't get into doctors' offices, they gave vaccinations. It was really an impressive effort on their part, stepping up to serve Virginia. So, Madam President, with that introduction, I don't know how many got on into the gallery, but if you will please warmly welcome them. Good. Warmly welcome on behalf of all of the Senate.
Thank you for coming, and more importantly, thank you for what you do in your arena. We certainly need pharmacists, and in fact, I know that we have a reduction in force, and it takes so many years of schooling to do what you do. Thank you, thank you. I have no more words because you're so important to our health community. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Madam President. I now rise to welcome Centera Health here today, and they're always welcome, but today is a particularly important day for me, and I do think it's possible that those that I was going to introduce have stepped away. But, Madam President, the new president of Centera Williamsburg Hospital is my dear friend Amber Price. She's a midwife who went back and got additional education in change leadership. And I personally witnessed what she did for women's health at the hospital where I work. And now she's moved on to, she's here, oh good. She's moved on to do many different things, but is now leading at Centera Williamsburg. And she is also lead to the women's high performance team for Centera. We're going to be doing lots of things to try and look at obstetric outcomes this year, Madam President. And we're so lucky to have Amber here to kind of be a part of all of that. So Amber Price, thank you so much, Madam President.
Ms. Price, thank you for coming. And in your arena, as a midwife, we are sorely in need of more of them, as well as the doulas. So thank you for being in the specialized area where we women, sometimes we're just more comfortable. And thank you for staying in that arena and for going back to school so that you can lead others. Senators, let us give her the warm welcome of her Senate. Senator Spruill, the gentleman from northern Chesapeake.
Good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. I rise for introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Today, we have visiting from the Virginia Emergency Management Association in attendance, who are here for their annual lobby day. FEMA is a statewide organization that promotes and supports the goals of saving lives and protecting property during time of emergency and disaster in Virginia. They seek to promote safety, less vulnerable communities, and hazard in this state. FEMA's president is Bobby Jerome, who is here today, is a senior planner with the City of Chesapeake Office of Emergency Management. On behalf of Senator John Cosgrove and myself, please welcome them. Thank you so much.
Please stand if you're in the gallery. If not, we thank them for what they do as community leaders. We thank them for the sacrifices we keep hearing morning after morning that there are so many people in our Commonwealth who do such good, who sacrifice so much, and we recognize that. So we will give them the warm welcome, although they're not here, in their absence, and they will hear of it, that their senators welcome them. Chair recognizes Senator Favola, the gentlelady from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for two purposes.
The senator has the floor.
One purpose is to make an announcement. I'd like to announce an absence. The junior senator from Richmond City, Senator Morrissey, is away on pressing personal business. May the record reflect that.
It will be so reflected, Senator.
Thank you. Now, Madam President, I'd like to introduce a group of individuals in the gallery, if I may.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you. Virginia Promise, this is Virginia Promise Partnership Lobby Day. So the Virginia Promise Group is comprised of parents, early childhood educators, advocates, and others who care very deeply about making quality early childhood available to every Virginia family. And this is incredibly important because early childhood education gives our young people the grounding so they can succeed in school, so they can learn how to play with others, and so they ultimately can succeed in life. And there's an important fact here I just want you to note that 44% of Virginia's kindergartners have ended the 2021-2022 school year without these foundational skills. So there's clearly a need, and we're very proud that Virginia Promise Partnership is here. I think I ask my colleagues to open their doors when you knock on their doors, to give them all the wonderful facts and knowledge that you know about this area so we can move the ball forward and continue to fund more robustly, hopefully, early childhood education. Thank you, Madam President.
Please stand. No, stand and remain standing. Virginia Promise Lobby. Maybe they're in the other house. Well, we thank them for what they do. We hear of their good work with our early childhood space, and that 41% having finished the year without having had the benefit of that education is 41% too many. And I know that it's something we are going to tackle. So we thank them for what they do and for their lobbying efforts to ensure that that doesn't continue to happen. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. The senior senator from Richmond City, Senator McClellan.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today we are joined in the gallery by members of the Virginia Community Violence Coalition, which represents dozens of practitioners, advocates, city leaders, researchers, healthcare providers, and survivors of community violence. The coalition is dedicated to lifting up evidence-informed, community-based solutions to address violence through a public health lens, and are committed to advocating for a meaningful investment in these solutions at the local, state, and national level. The coalition members include VCU Health, VHHA, Friends of the Portsmouth Juvenile Court, the Health Alliance for Violence Intervention, Cities United, Giffords, Centera, Abu Unity Foundation, the Center for American Progress, the Criminal Justice Action Fund, the Equal Justice USA, VCU Health Trauma Center, RVA League for Safer Streets, Everytown for Gun Safety, Moms Demand Action, Riverside Hospital, Resolution Virginia, the HEB Foundation, Brady, Living with Disabilities, Students Demand Action, Rise for Youth, Brown, Virginia, and Empower All. Thank you, Madam President.
Please rise. No, it's amazing that one person can move a mountain. Doesn't take a whole lot. One person starts a movement. So thank you for being here representing all of those groups. And in fact, it is so amazing that most of the time you're not paid to do this, but you make the sacrifice for others to try to stop violence. So thank you for what you do. And senators, let us give her the warm welcome of her Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Locke, the gentlelady from Hampton.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I would like to introduce a very good friend of mine, and she is no stranger to this body because her former boss worked in this Senate for many years, as he did in the House of Delegates. She is the former Chief of Staff of Congressman Bobby Scott, and that is Joni Ivey. So if you could please give the warm welcome of the Senate to Joni Ivey.
Welcome, Ms. Ivey. As we've heard the senator say, you are no stranger to this body, and so you'll probably see that sometimes everything that's old is new again. So thank you for coming, and please tell the congressman we said hello. Thank you. Senator Hackworth, the gentleman from Tazewell.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, today in the gallery we have from the Office of the Attorney General with us the community liaison officers that do community outreach. These liaison officers live and work in each region of our Commonwealth to educate and connect citizens and leaders to resources the Attorney General's office provides. They build lasting relationships with key leaders by prioritizing law enforcement, connecting with elected officials to provide a direct line of communication with the Attorney General. So we have Alyssa Henson, if they would rise, Oz Goner, Nicholas Prophet, Patty Menders, Matt Hall, and Taylor Billings. And Madam President, if it's a pleasure to have them here today, if you would give them the warm welcome of the Senate, I'd appreciate it.
We thank you for assisting our Attorney General in his very great duties to the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Indeed, we cannot do what we do without the staff helping us. And our senators are well aware of the qualities that we need in the staff so that we can do the job that we were sent to do. So thank you for putting your hands to the plow and for continuing to put your hand to the plow in spite of what you might encounter from day to day. So senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Hanover, Senator McDougal. Chair recognizes Senator Peake, the gentleman from Lynchburg.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President. I rise for the purposes of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President and members of the Senate, we have two friends from Prince Edward County joining us today. We have Justine Young and Jordan Miles, who are with the Piedmont Senior Resources Area Agency on Aging, a nonprofit that covers the counties of Amelia, Buckingham, Charlotte, Cumberland, Lunenburg, Nottoway, and Prince Edward. Justine Young is a CEO of the agency, and Jordan serves as Director of Nutrition and Transportation. The agency offers wraparound services for older adults, including home-delivered meals, homemaker services, medical transportation, Medicare consultation, home repairs, and many other programs. Justine also serves on the executive committee for the U.S. Area Agency on Aging, the Executive Board of the Virginia Association Area on Aging, and on the Executive Board for the Southeastern Association of Area Agency on Aging, and also as a captain in the U.S. Army Reserves. Justine and Jordan were instrumental in setting up the Piedmont region's newest and largest non-emergency medical transportation services for older adults. Jordan has served with the organization for 5 years. He also serves on the Buckingham County Board of Supervisors from the Maysville District, and he is also a governor's appointee to the Virginia Tobacco Commission. I ask that you please give them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Please rise. Thank you for coming, and thank you for what you do. We have our adult population, and indeed, we stand on their shoulders, they having paved the path for us. And we know that one day, when we are older, that we shall need the help that you provide. So thank you for being the example. Thank you for staying in that space. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes now Senator Cosgrove, the senior senator from Chesapeake.
Good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon.
I rise for the purposes of an introduction, Madam President.
The senator may say on.
Well, prior to doing that, Madam President, I don't usually disagree with you on much, but I will tell you that one of the last times I saw Bruce Smith, it was at a thing in Virginia Beach, and I literally fell on my knees and pleaded with him to come back to Washington, and he turned me down. So I'm just saying. I really wish he'd reconsider, Bruce. Anyway, it's my pleasure today to introduce a gentleman who is really the walking and talking embodiment of the Virginia gentleman, and that would be Mr. Carter Myers. Now, Carter is a third-generation car dealer and a former president of Carter Myers Automotive Association. And Carter Myers Automotive has 22 locations and is the only dealership in Virginia that shares ownership with its associates. Carter handed the reins to his daughter, Liza, in 2011, making her the fourth-generation owner and operator of the Meyer Auto Group. Carter is also the past chair of the Virginia Auto Dealers Association and is here in Richmond advocating for legislation to protect dealers and consumers, and not just the dealers and consumers, but the thousands of Virginia jobs that are associated with that industry in our Commonwealth. So, Madam President, I hope you would offer the very warm welcome of the Senate to Mr. Carter Myers.
Mr. Myers, you must have done something right, because now you are into the fourth generation of family ownership. Statistics tell us that usually by the second generation things peter out, and by the third it's gone. But here it is, still standing strong today. Thank you for providing the jobs that you do and for the work that you do in the various communities where your dealerships are located. Senators, let us give him the warm welcome of his Senate. Resolutions, petitions, and bills are in order. Chair now recognizes Senator Edwards. Senator Edwards, the gentleman from Roanoke City.
Madam President, I move that we suspend the joint order for approving judges today till Friday, to Monday afternoon.
The question is, pursuant to Rule 6 of House Joint Resolution 471, the scheduling resolution, Shall the special and continuing joint order relating to judicial elections be held on Monday, January 23rd, at the conclusion of the morning hour? All in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, no 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. The special and continuing joint order will be held on Monday, January 23rd, at the conclusion of the morning hour. Chair calls on Senator Norman, the gentleman from James City County.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd respectfully ask that the Senate stand in recess until 1:10 and that the Senate Republican caucus immediately and timely join us in the back room off of the chambers.
Without objection, the Senate stands at recess until 1:10 p.m. order. The chair recognizes Senator Boysko, the gentlelady from northwestern Fairfax County.
Good morning, Madam, or good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon, Senator.
I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen of the gallery, we have members from Cornerstone's nonprofit here today with us. We have the chair of Cornerstone's, Carrie Wilson. Included in the group is Herndon Elementary School's principal, Candace Hudson, pastor of Trinity Presbyterian Church, Stephen Smith-Cobb, and other board members, staffers, and supporters. Cornerstones is the place to go for affordable housing, to advocate for those who are struggling in our community, in the Herndon and Reston community. It has been around for over 50 years, and everyone knows the really good work they do. They work collaboratively with our chambers of commerce, as well as our houses of worship and local businesses, and I ask that you give them a lovely Senate welcome.
Cornerstones, are you here? Yes, please stand. We've been hearing so much about all the sacrifices that you all make for those who are not able to do for themselves in our community. Thank you for being in that space and in that fight. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Is there any other business to come before the morning hour? Hearing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
January 18, 2023. Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on third reading.
Chair calls on the senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Saslaw.
On third reading on the uncontested calendar on pages, that's 1 through 5, Senate Bill 905 through Senate Bill 1233, be placed on their final passage in a block. Any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block, please do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 1 through 5, Senate Bill 905 through Senate Bill 1233, be placed upon their final passage in the block with the understanding that any senator who desires to remove a bill from the block do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills are now before us in the block. The clerk will read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 905, we have a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator McDougall, the gentleman from Hanover.
Thank you, Madam President. I think that needs to come out of the block so we can get to the floor amendment, please.
Without objection, Senate Bill 905 is out of the block.
Senate Bill 797, Senate Bill 798, Senate Bill 809.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Suderline, the gentleman from Roanoke County.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd ask that Senate Bill 809 on page 3 please come out of the block.
Without objection, Senate Bill 809 is out of the block.
Senate Bill 1100, Senate Bill 1233.
The question is, shall the bills in the block pass? That is, all bills except for Senate Bill 905 and Senate Bill 809 on pages 1 and 3, respectively. All in favor of the passage of the bills will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, no 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. The bills in the block pass.
Senate Bill 905.
Chair recognizes Senator McDougal, the gentleman from Hanover.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move the vote by which the bill was ordered engrossed and advanced to its third reading be reconsidered.
The question is, shall the vote by which Senate Bill 905 was engrossed and advanced to its third reading be reconsidered? All those in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. The bill is reconsidered. Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that we waive the reading of the floor amendment.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the floor amendment be agreed to. And speaking to the motion.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, it's a bill that did not go through the committee on which I sat, but in looking at it, there were some questions about whether this language had additional impact past the purpose of the bill. It was unclear. After speaking with the patron, he was okay that we removed it because it was not the focus of the educational aspect that the bill was intended. So ask that the floor amendment be agreed to.
The question is, shall the floor amendment be agreed to? Those in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The floor amendment is agreed to. Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 905 now be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading. Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the rules be suspended, the constitutional readings be waived, and the bill be on its third passage.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 905 pass in that the rules are suspended and the third constitutional reading is dispensed with? Those in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. Senate Bill 905 passes. I'm sorry, third reading is dispensed.
Madam President, I think this is the final step.
Yes, sir. The senator from Hanover.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill pass, and speaking to it briefly.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, this lays out some of the educational requirements for fire marshals, and in its current form, I think is an excellent bill, and I move that it pass.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 905 pass? Those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, no 0.
Ayes 38, no 0. Now the bill passes.
Senate Bill 809.
Chair recognizes Senator Favola, the gentlelady from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the bill pass, and speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. What this bill does is it is aimed at products that have similar labeling and packaging, but yet the brand name may be on an alcoholic beverage or may be on a non-alcoholic beverage. So the bill does two things. It says you cannot put an alcoholic beverage with similar labeling to a non-alcoholic beverage next to the non-alcoholic beverage. The word it uses is immediately adjacent. And then secondly, it says an alcoholic beverage that has, again, similar packaging to a non-alcoholic beverage must be labeled in the grocery store or retail store. The intent is to clearly inform the consumer what they are purchasing. So this is a bill that many stakeholders got together on. Certainly there will be an interpretation by ABC on this bill. We met with as many varied groups as we could to understand the implementation or how it would be applied. And it did pass out of Rehab and Social Services unanimously. So I renew my motion that the bill pass.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 809 pass? All those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, noes 1.
Ayes 37, noes 1. The bill passes.
Regular calendar, Senate bill on third reading. Senate Bill 982, a bill relating to yielding or reducing speed for stationary vehicles, vehicles displaying hazard lights, caution signs, or road flares.
Chair recognizes the senator from Western Fairfax County, Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Senate Bill 982 pass. And speaking to that motion?
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. As you know, we have a slow down and move over law in Virginia. It was first initiated for emergency vehicles, police and fire, that if you came upon them on the side of the road with their lights on, that you had to slow down and move over. It was penalized by a reckless driving charge if you did not do so, and it was possible and safe to do so. We added service vehicles with an amber light to that, but the penalty there was a traffic offense and not a reckless driving, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. What this bill does is add all stationary or disabled vehicles at the side of the road that are displaying emergency flashers, cautionary signs, or red flares at the side of the road that one should slow down and move over, and if it's possible, and to do it safely, and a violation of which is punished as a traffic infraction. And I reiterate my motion that the bill pass.
Chair recognizes Senator Suderline, the gentleman from Roanoke County.
Speaking very briefly to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I think this is a well-intentioned bill. I think people should move over when they can. I think, though, that we should pass laws that are actually enforceable, and I don't understand how this would work. The reason that it's enforceable when you have a police car there for move over is because there's a police car. If there was a police car present in this situation, there would already be a police car. So I don't think it makes sense that we legislate this way, but I think that the patrons got the best intentions in the world.
Madam President, if I...
Chair recognizes Senator Vogel, the gentlelady from Fauquier.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to speak to the bill.
Senator has the floor.
Madam President, we had a brief discussion just privately over here about this bill, and I guess my question is, I understand why someone might object and why they might think it's not enforceable, but I would just urge the body to consider one thing. It's very difficult if you're driving and it's dark and there's a car on the side of the road with its flashers on to know prior to approaching that vehicle if that vehicle is in fact a police officer or if it's not. And so I think about, from my perspective, as somebody who now has very young drivers, and as I am often terrified in the passenger seat, and I see a car with flashers on the side of the road, and I say, you have to pull over one lane, I want to be able to say, you know what, that's the law, not, well, you have to sit and decide, is that a law enforcement or not? And so while I understand that we may quibble over it's enforceable or not enforceable, but I would just urge the body to consider that it isn't safe to pass a car on the side of the road with its flashers on in the dark or in the daylight in close proximity. And this doesn't offend me at all, and I would encourage the body to vote for the bill.
Chair again recognizes the senator from Western Fairfax County, Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Madam President. In responding to the gentleman from Roanoke County, we also have, as I stated, a slow down and move over requirement for service vehicles with an amber light. There is no police officer there, and that is a traffic infraction. With a police officer, a police vehicle or fire vehicle, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor. This is just a traffic violation. 566 people a year are killed under these circumstances in the United States. Over 14,000 are injured, and $8.8 billion in property damage takes place. So I think this is a prudent thing to respect our neighbors, our fellow travelers on the roads, our fellow citizens, and to protect them as best we can. The law only requires that you do so if you can do it safely, and I urge you again to pass the bill.
Chair recognizes Senator Norman, the gentleman from James City County.
Thank you, Madam President. Would the gentleman from Western Fairfax County yield for a question, please?
Will the senator from Western Fairfax County yield for a question?
I yield.
Senator Norman has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. My question is, under the current move-over law that attached to each inspection certificate that is issued by an inspector is a blue sticker dealing with the move-over law, it is your intention to expand that sticker and require the inspectors to attach another notice so that drivers are aware of it?
Senator Marsden has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm unaware of stickers and that have anything to do with this law. I apologize, but I have not heard that exists. I don't know that anyone driving down the road is looking for stickers, but what we're trying to do is to protect all of our citizens here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, to make sure that people show them the proper respect when they're perhaps in distress and in need of folks slowing down and moving over if it is safe.
Madam President.
Further questions. Senator Norman.
Commenting on that, having been in the car business for a number of years, we have required inspectors to attach to the inspection certificate that is issued a sticker that reminds them of the move-over law. And my concern is that if we're going to expand that law to include other criteria, whether or not we need to notify the motorists. But I do have a second question.
The senator may continue.
My question is, would you consider it a friendly amendment to restrict this move-over provision to I-95 between Richmond and Washington?
Senator Marsden has the floor.
Could the gentleman repeat the friendly amendment?
Senator Norman has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. My question is, would you consider it a friendly amendment if we restricted your expanded move-over law on I-95 from Richmond to Washington, D.C.?
Senator Marsden has the floor.
While that amendment was offered in a friendly manner, I don't know that would be a friendly amendment. I think it should apply to all four-lane roads in the Commonwealth.
Thank you.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 982 pass? Those in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 29, noes 8.
Ayes 29, noes 8. The bill passes.
Uncontested bills, Senate bills on second reading. Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on second reading.
Chair calls on Senator Saslaw, the senior senator from Fairfax County.
Madam President, I move that all Senate bills on second reading on the uncontested calendar on pages 6 through 9, that's Senate Bill 783 through 1246, be advanced to their engrossment and reading and third reading in a block after the adoption of any amendments thereto. Any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block, please do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall all Senate bills on second reading on the uncontested calendar on pages 6 through 9, Senate Bill 783 through Senate Bill 1246, be engrossed and advanced to their third reading in the block after the adoption of the amendments thereto, with the understanding that any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 783, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary. Senate Bill 799, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with amendments.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the gentleman from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the committee amendments.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be adopted? Those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are adopted. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
I'm sorry, the bills are in the block. Thank you, sir.
Senate Bill 801, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary. Senate Bill 812, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary. Senate Bill 814, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with a substitute.
Again, Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the committee substitute.
The question is, shall the committee substitute be adopted? Those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is adopted.
Senate Bill 956, reported from the Committee on Local Government. Senate Bill 1061, reported from the Committee on Local Government with amendments.
Senator Stewart, the gentleman from King George.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd move the amendments be agreed to.
The question is, shall the amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 1187, reported from the Committee on Local Government. Senate Bill 1246, reported from the Committee on Local Government with amendment.
Senator Obenshain, gentleman from Rockingham County.
Madam President, I move that the amendments be adopted.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be adopted? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are adopted. The question is, shall the Senate bills be engrossed and advanced to their third reading? All in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills are engrossed and advanced to their third reading.
Regular calendar, Senate bills on second reading. Senate Bill 807, a bill relating to local parks, walking trails, liability, property owners. Reported from the Committee on Local Government.
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Arlington, Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill be engrossed in advance to its third reading.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 807 be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor For what purpose does the gentleman from Eastern Shall Senate Bill 807 be engrossed in advance to its third reading? Those in favor of the motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed in advance to its third reading.
Senate Bill 835. A bill relating to prohibited sales and loans to juveniles, definition of sexual conduct, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with a substitute.
Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Sarraville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill, or I move that we adopt the committee substitute.
The question is, shall the committee substitute be adopted? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is adopted. Senator Sarraville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill be engrossed in advance to its third reading.
The gentlelady from Arlington, Senator Favola.
My apologies, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the bill be engrossed in advance to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed in advance to its third reading.
Senate Bill 873, a bill relating to family abuse protective orders filed on behalf of minors, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with amendments.
Senator McDougal.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Stanley, the gentleman from Franklin County.
Thank you, Madam President. I now move that the committee amendments be agreed to.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to. Senator Stanley.
Thank you, Madam President. I now move that Senate Bill 873 be engrossed in advance to its third constitutional reading.
The question is, shall the bill be engrossed in advance to its third constitutional reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed in advance to its third reading.
Senate Bill 888, a bill relating to consecutive terms of imprisonment, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary.
Chair recognizes Senator Favola, the gentlelady from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask that that bill go by for the day.
Without objection, Senate Bill 888 goes by for the day.
Senate Bill 958, a bill relating to writs of actual innocence, reported from the Committee on the Judiciary with a substitute.
Senator Stewart, the gentleman from King George.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Substitute is agreed to. Senator Stewart.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill be engrossed in advance to its third reading.
Question is, shall the bill be engrossed in advance to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed in advance to its third reading.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on first reading.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Saslaw.
Madam President, I move that all Senate bills on first reading on the uncontested and regular calendar, it's pages 11 through 14, and Senate Bill 974 through 1112, that the rules be suspended and the first constitutional reading of the titles be dispensed with.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the first constitutional reading of the titles of Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 11 through 14, Senate bills 974 through Senate bills 1112, be dispensed with? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, no 0.
Ayes 37, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senator Saslaw.
Madam President, I would move now that those said bills be passed by for the day.
The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars now on second reading be passed by for the day? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills will go by for the day. The chair recognizes the clerk to report a communication.
Commonwealth of Virginia, Department of Elections, January 18, 2023. Clerk Shar, on behalf of the State Board of Elections, this is to certify that upon examination of the official abstracts of votes on file in this office and pursuant to Virginia Code Sections 24.2-680 and 24.2-681, it has been ascertained and determined that at the special election held on January 10, 2023 for member, Senate of Virginia, 7th District, Aaron R. Rouse was duly elected for the term ending January 9, 2024 to represent the cities of Virginia Beach and Norfolk to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the Honorable Jennifer A. Kiggins. Should you require anything further, please contact Dave Nichols, Election Services Manager. Thank you for your assistance in this matter. Sincerely, Susan J. Bills, Commissioner.
Chair now calls on the senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Saslaw.
Madam President, I would inquire of the clerk, does that complete the calendar business for today?
Yes, sir.
Chair again calls on the senior senator from Fairfax County for the purposes of the distinguished persons.
Madam President, I would ask that we suspend the Senate rules and grant the privileges of the floor of the family of Senator-elect Aaron Rouse for the purposes of witnessing his swearing in.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the privileges of the floor be granted to a distinguished person? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, no 0.
Ayes 37, no 0. The rules are suspended. The privileges of the floor are granted. The chair recognizes the senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Saslaw, for the purpose of presenting the distinguished guests. The Senate will temporarily be at ease.
Senator-elect Rice, would you raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as a member of the Senate of Virginia,
as a member of the Senate of Virginia,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The Senate will temporarily remain at ease while we welcome our new senator. Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Chair recognizes Senator Hanger, the gentleman from Augusta.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for purposes of an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This evening at the Omni, we'll have our annual meeting of the Center for Rural Virginia in conjunction with VACO. It will be held there from 5:30 until 8:30. And I wanted to invite all the legislators, particularly rural legislators and anybody who enjoys rural Virginia, to come and be a part of this annual conference. We normally have a couple hundred people there from throughout the Commonwealth. And it will be a special evening. We've got some special people that will be there speaking briefly. The Secretary of Agriculture, Matt Bloor, and the Secretary of Health and Human Resources, John Littell. And what do you know, Madam President? You are supposed to be there. I hope you got that on your calendar for some brief remarks tonight over at the Omni. So I would hope that everybody will get that on your calendar and show up for a little hospitality from the Rural Center. On behalf of the Senator from Mecklenburg, who is the chairman of the Center for Rural Virginia, and myself, who serve as chair of the Rural Caucus. Thank you.
The clerk will report any announcements on the desk.
Today, Wednesday, January 18th, 2023, the Commerce and Labor Subcommittee on Energy will meet 30 minutes after adjournment, Subcommittee Room 2, 5th floor, Pocahontas. Senator Spruill, Norman, Newman, Lucas, and Marsden. The Committee on General Laws and Technology will meet 30 minutes after adjournment, Senate Room 3 in the Capitol. The Committee on the Judiciary will meet 30 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room A, Pocahontas. The General Laws and Technology Subcommittee on Gaming will meet upon adjournment of the Committee on General Laws and Technology, Senate Room 3, Capitol. Senators McPike, Eben, Mason, Boysko, Bell, Ruff, Donovan, and Pillion. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Transportation will meet at 4 p.m. Subcommittee Room 1, 5th floor, Pocahontas. Senators Barker, Saslaw, Hanger, Newman, Deeds, Marsden, and McClellan. Tomorrow, Thursday, January 19th. The Hampton Roads Caucus will meet at 7:30 a.m. in Subcommittee Room 1, 5th floor, Pocahontas. The Committee on Education and Health will meet at 8 a.m., Senate Room A, Pocahontas. The Democratic Caucus will meet at 11:30 a.m., Senate Room 1 in the Capitol. The Republican Caucus will meet at 11:30 a.m., Senate Room 2 in the Capitol.
Chair now calls on Senator Lucas, the gentlelady from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 12 noon on tomorrow.
The question is, shall the Senate adjourn until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The Senate stands adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Good job.